Innovation is the only sustainable form of differentiation. Hi, welcome to another episode of Innovation News Update from nttcomdd. My name is Hui Yung Seong. In this episode, I will be showing a demo on one of the automation scenarios around Tufin with the use of an Ansible playbook triggered by a secure change API script. In this scenario, the security administrator first raised a server decommission request via Tufin Secure Change to remove several servers from the firewall policy in Secure Change. Once the approval is granted, the changes, or in this case the removal of server address, will be implemented in the relevant firewalls. After the server decommission request is completed and closed, a Secure Change API script will be triggered to request the execution of an Ansible playbook in Ansible control machine. One of the playbook's tasks is to communicate with SecureTrack via its REST API to request for the cleanup instance. SecureTrack will then query the firewall to retrieve the latest configuration and status. Next, it will return the results back to the Ansible control machine. Last but not least, the Ansible playbook will process the data returned by SecureTrack and then update the security administrators via email notification. Now let's walk through the actual setup and flow. This is the firewall. First, let's show the network object group in this firewall. In this firewall, currently there are two network object groups. We call it Network Group 1 and Network Group 2. If we look at the access list, so we can see that only Network Group 1 is currently being used by the access list. If we switch to the SecureTrack dashboard, and if we select this particular firewall, and if you look at the unattached network objects instance, we can see that right now only the Network Group 2 is shown under this unattached network objects. Assuming that now the security administrator needs to remove these two servers from the firewall policy. Let's switch to the Secure Change to raise the change request. So over here in the My Requests, I will create a new request. I will select this workflow. So for the subject name, just say decom server, and for the server, it will be these IPs 51 and 52. Click OK, and then let's do a submit for this new request. On the My Requests, you could see that the next handler would be the firewall admin 1. So let's log out and switch to the firewall admin 1. If we go to the tasks, we can see that the new request is shown over here. So let's click on the decom server request and then click on the designer. On the designer page, we can actually see the rule that is going to be removed by this request and the policy. So let's trigger the implementation now. Now click on all commands. Okay, so these are the commands that are going to be pushed to the firewall so that we can remove the servers. So let's click on update device now. Okay, so now we can see that those commands has been pushed to the firewall. So let's close this window and then switch back to the firewall to verify. Let's show the access list. Okay, so we can see that this ACL has been removed by the request just now. But if we show the object group, we can see that the object network group 1 is still there. So let's switch back to the SecureTrack, and if we refresh the instance, we can see that now the network group 1 is also shown up in the unattached network objects. So we need to automate this removal of the network group 1. So what we're going to do is that we are going to execute a Secure Change API script. This is the Tufin OS server. So let me display the content. You can see that we have this Ansible cleanup.h file. We need to push it to the Secure Change via this command. Once we have pushed to Secure Change, we can create the trigger in Secure Change's settings. But before that, let's complete this request. So go back to the previous screen and then click Done to close this request. So once this task is closed, we can see that it will trigger the Ansible playbook to be executed, and then the result will be sent to the security administrator's mailbox. So the email just came in and informed us that there are two network groups that are not being used, the network group 1 and the network group 2. So from there, the security administrator can either raise another request to remove it or create another Ansible task to automate the removal of this unused network object group. So if we go to the secure change setting, you can see that this is where we configure the API script to be triggered when the server decommission request has been closed. That's all I have to show you on Tufin automation using the Ansible playbook as well as secure change API script. See you in the next episode. Thank you.